Good evening, everybody. I am your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Caster. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hi, hello. Thank you for being patient while we did a little bit of shilling. We have, for those who have been following along the channel, the non-binary sci-fi anthology that I have been working on has A, funded on Kickstarter, and B, we are just about in the last 40 hours of the campaign or so you now have time to go and get in and back such a wonderful project. 15 stories written by a wide variety of very diverse writers and artists available to you. Hey, Netscape. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. If you want to get in the bandwagon of the final hours of NetherRealms, please do go and follow this link that I'm posting in the chat right here. Thank you, everybody, genuinely, who's been really patient while I've been yelling about this thing that I've been worked on and been very, very excited about. And if you've backed it or have shared it with your friends, genuinely, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But with all of that bit of sci-fi out of the way, we have another delightful bit of sci-fi to go and share with all of you today. And not just the card game that we're playing, but my special guest who is joining me this evening for a bit of light chat and a bit of heated dueling. Everybody please give a warm welcome to Lushen Zener.
Hello, Caster. Hello, Cast. I am your friendly, hungry ghost, Lushen Zener, and I am here to kick some ass.
Oh my gosh, you probably will. I am genuinely terrified about the idea of going and playing a game that I love, but have not played in a very long time, competitively with other people, but it's going to be really, really exciting. So, Lushen, tell us about yourself and the stuff that you do as a VTuber.
All right, so as a VTuber, I am mostly playing fighting games these days, actually. I got into Street Fighter 6 beta, and let me tell you, that was a lot of fun, actually. I'm looking forward to the release. Otherwise, it's mostly Guilty Gear Strive, a lot of Splatoon, and on my own off hours recently, a lot of Netrunner again for the first time in about like 2 or 3 years. I played a lot back during the Fantasy Flight era, right after the Mumbat set had, no, not that one. It was the 23-second set, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about where I got in. I've been playing. I fell in love with the game pretty much right away, and devoted probably way too much time collecting cards, playing people, finding local groups, and then the game died. Shit.
Yeah, it's probably something that we're gonna. That's a lot of things to go and pick on. We'll start in order in my head. Fighting games, that's dope. I also enjoy Strive. I'm not very good at it, but I have a very entry level Testament that I enjoy playing. I've tried to try and learn a new character and play some Giovanna. It doesn't go quite as well. I find it quite difficult to play. But cracking game.
My sets.
Who do you main in Strive?
Sad to say, I am in fact a Nagaryuki main. So
scary.
Unfortunately, I did in fact happen to pick a top tier character. But if I'm being honest, even entry level Testament is probably going to give me a lot of trouble. Just trying to get in there. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of skulls. It's a lot of birds.
That is a lot of birds. That's a lot of birds, and my sword is not as long as your scythe.
In terms of Netrunner, in terms of when you got in, I also have pretty strong memories of getting the big box from my local gaming store chain and not really understanding how to go and play. God, even learning the game back in the day where there was not much in the way of tutorials was a pretty big learning curve. But London actually had a really, really strong scene for Netrunner, so I did get to have a lot of games in. And when I moved to the city that I am in now, it was one of the first games, when you move to a new city, it's like, I don't know anybody. I'm going to go to my local game store and go and play a bunch of card games with people and get to know people that way. So playing Netrunner was one of the ways that I got to go and ingratiate myself to my current city. I lost a lot of the matches while I was up here, but it was so playing. This is inside baseball for only people who know old school Netrunner, but I insisted on playing a Kaiser deck, and one of my matches was against Blue Sun, who can just put the ice back into their hand and just make my breakers just go into the graveyard. And on turn 3, I was like, genuinely, There is nothing I can do to win the scenario. I didn't know that that was an identity that existed. I'm going to forfeit.
Yep. Blue Sun Glacier. That was sometimes. Those walls got thick.
Brutal. It is a very complicated. It's a super thematic game, which is what made me fall in love with it. As you can tell by my sense of aesthetic, by these new armchairs that we're sitting on today, which I drew especially for this. Actually, I've wanted to have an armchair asset so I can do interviews for ages, but everybody just has like gamer chair assets, and that's not our vibe in this house. So we're cozy and we're futurist, and I really liked the setting of like Android Netrunner, which has really what got me in, and then the process of having to think like a really high-level tactical strategist was what came second, and it was kind of interesting slowly gaining mastery on a game that's actually quite complicated.
Oh yeah, there's honestly no game like this. Like just the asymmetrical level alone, it was a huge like brain warp trying to wrap my mind around this game at the start.
Gosh, yeah. For those if you're tuning in today and you don't know a gosh darn thing about Netrunner, let me show you the way. So Netrunner is an asymmetrical 1v1 card game. A lot of you are probably going to be used to your Magic the Gatherings, your Pokemons, your Yu-Gi-Ohs, where both players are building their deck in the exact same way with access to the exact same pools of cards. Netrunner is different. You play as both, depending on what side of the table you're on, a hacker or a corporation. The corporation is trying to enact their secret evil agendas and trying to build an impenetrable base in which they can enact those agendas unbothered, whereas the hacker, the runner, as this game calls it, is trying to break in with a wide variety of tools and trickery to get past all of the corp's defenses and steal the agendas before they can be enacted. Such an evocative game of cyberpunk cat and mouse, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And actually, to its credit, I think it's one of those pieces of cyberpunk media that actually is quite insistent on putting the punk in cyberpunk. It is very specifically filled with social criticism and the reasons why all that the hackers are doing what they're doing, and all the very different and insidious ways that the corporations are trying to get their bits and pieces done. It was really, really engaging, what made me kind of fall in love with the game.
Yeah. The Fantasy Flight era especially was very good about that. I think it took them multiple years for a single cis white male to actually show up as a playable character.
You know, as a non-cis, non-white, non-male, it was nice to go and see myself reflected in various ways within the card game in a space that I wouldn't normally see. These days, though, Fantasy Flight aren't the runners of the game anymore. They have retired the game. Funnily enough, I guess ironically enough, for entirely selfish corp reasons. They just didn't really think it financially sensible to continue funding, so dropped it. I guess that's the inevitability of all live service games eventually. So there's a degree to which, like, oh, I guess I'm begrudging, but also not too begrudging. It had to end at some point, but it has been picked up by fans.
Yeah, there's actually an interesting capitalist story about that. I believe the plan was to keep the Netrunner license going for pretty much as long as they could maintain it. But roughly at the end of the Kampala arc was when they got bought out by this French conglomerate. At the same time as they needed to renew the license for the Netrunner card game engine with Wizards of the Coast, and that was officially a liability on their spreadsheets. So unfortunately for us that really love this game, the same time that they got bought out was the same time they had to just let the license expire.
Miserable timing. But fans have managed to go and pick the game up and have released many new booster packs of cards that are visually distinct but mechanically compatible with the old cards. The duel that we will be doing today is using entirely new cards. or reprints of old cards. The format is called Startup. There's lots of different formats of Netrunner with different styles of legality, but this one using entirely new cards is actually kind of interesting. Because I have such nostalgia for a lot of the old cards, I felt kind of a fish out of water having to go use entirely new ones where some of the strategies that I loved before are no longer available to me.
Yeah, definitely. But the good news is it is a smaller card pool. So especially for somebody like me that was just coming back in after like a long time in the freeze, it was nice to like experiment with cards I haven't played before, but not have to worry about like their compatibility and optimization with thousands of other cards.
True. And you've been doing a lot of due diligence in that you've been putting some game time in to go and learn the new cards and learn the new meta before entering this tournament, where I, on the other hand, have not. Unfortunately.
Just a few hours, just a few games, maybe a couple dozen here or there.
I have played enough to go and learn what some of the really powerful icebreakers are, and was like, okay, I understand. I understand what the new meta is. I understand what some of these really popular cards are. But we'll get into that as we play. One last question before we get into throwing digital hands is, in addition to Netrunner, are there any other kind of like card games and stuff that you play?
So even before Netrunner, I've been playing card games for a long time. Obviously, there's Magic the Gathering. I actually touched the World of Warcraft TCG all the way back in the day, long before the digital version came out. I did play some Legend of the Five Rings when FFG got the license for that. Didn't like it too much. I would say it's really thematic, and that it feels a lot like having to conduct a really long and intricate ritual between two people, but also rituals are really boring.
Yes. It's just I like a complicated game, but sometimes you want to play more than one game per day. Yes. Or have the brain power to finish more than one game per day, right? Sometimes it's a game that's short and intense, and afterwards it's like, oh, my brain's fried, I need to sit down and play something simpler. Watch. Well, we'll see how I feel. We'll see how we feel on the other side of this match, but I am really excited. Would you like to go and set up the room, and we'll go and get things going?
Absolutely. Let's see.
I want to see some friendships end tonight, says Ruben. Oh my god. Maybe. This is definitely a game fueled by salt. So
yes.
We will see. Is it the same password as last time?
Yes, it is. Or at least it should be.
For some reason, let me go try that again, please. It didn't fire for me.
I might have input it wrong this time. Let me.
No, you're good. Not to worry. I don't know, Ruben. Ruben, have you played or heard of Netrunner before? I don't think I've talked about it with you before. But it is a game near and dear to my heart. I even have the tabletop RPG setting book that came with, because Fantasy Flight had their own proprietary. There we go. Dice rolling system called Genesis, to which they did a splat book for. Yeah, no, it's a cool setting book as well. Okay, we have selected. Oh, I guess I hit that. No, we've got it selected.
Yep, that's selected. Ready to start?
Yeah, I'm ready to start.
Fire.
Oh, Lucas has introduced you to it. I see. All right, with that done, let's go pass over to the game screen. Okay. And I have to go and decide my opening hand.
Yep.
Let's see, what did we get here? Oh, I also have to make sure that we need some beats as well. Sorry, give me a second while I go put on some tunes. We're not going to do this in silence. It's too ominous. I would I'd have a heart attack. But while I'm doing that, we're probably not in a position to go and do that necessarily. I'm going to probably use some of the tabletop RPG looped music that we use, because I have quite a variety of video game music that I've looped just to go and tell stories to. Let's go get let's go get some Space Channel 5 going. That seems thematically
An excellent
appropriate.
choice.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
All right. Nice. All right. Am I keeping this hand? Do we have money? Do we have breakers?
This is a game that criticizes capitalism, so unfortunately we must participate in capitalism. So yes, money is a very important thing to have.
I will keep this hand, I think. And with that ready, we will start the vid game. Do let me know
indeed.
if everybody's levels are appropriate and correct. That should be good. Okay. You go first,
All right.
since you're the corporation.
Sounds good to me.
You are playing hedge fund to go gain some cash. Lushen could stand to be a little louder. Okay, we'll do. We'll knock that up in ears. Right, that should be good. You spent some money to go install some ice and some ice. Okay, excellent.
Oh, actually, I spent 0 money to install the ice. It's only
Yeah,
after
because it's the first piece
layer.
of ice per turn, for sure.
Yep.
If you wouldn't mind announcing your actions out loud, just for
yeah.
both. Yeah. And I will
Absolutely makes
start
sense.
my turn. As the runner, I do not get an automatic card draw per turn, although Lushen does as the corp. We are going to...
Of course, to balance that out, the runner does get 1 additional action to use for money or cards or anything else they might want to do.
Ooh, let's see here. We are gonna spend 5 to install professional contacts. With professional contacts, I can spend 1 of my 4 actions. Music isn't coming out stream side. Annoying. Let me fix that. We are going to fix that by doing this. That should now be doing it. Marvelous. Okay. So with professional contacts, I can spend 1 of my clicks, 1 of my 4 actions per turn to both gain 1 money and draw 1 card, which is very useful. In fact, I will do that for 1 of my clicks and for my 3rd action. And my last action, I'm going to play Creative Commission, where I gain 5 money. If I have any clicks remaining, I lose 1 click, but that was my last action. So I end my turn at 6 money. Pass over to you.
Sounds good to me. Let's see. I will start, obviously, by the mandatory draw. I will install an ice on R&D. I'll install something in server 1.
Ooh, mysterious.
And I will advance.
That may very well be an agenda that Lushen needs to go and score some points to win matches. And let's see here. And we have you. We are going to spend 2 to install DZMZ Optimizer. It gives me more memory to install programs, and the first program I install each turn costs 1 less to install. In fact, I'm going to use that immediately and install a Chameleon for 1 money instead of installing it for 2. When I install it, I get to choose whether it is a barrier, a code gate, or a sentry. Because my the identity that I am using says that the first time I encounter a piece of ice, it gains code gate for the remainder of the turn, I'm going to say that Chameleon is a code gate breaker. I am then going to use the ability of professional contacts to gain 1 money and draw 1 card. And then I'm going to do a run on the server that you have advanced. Will you res that piece of ice?
Indeed, I will.
It is a funhouse. When the runner encounters this ice, end the run unless the runner takes 1 tag. And then I have the option to give the runner 1 tag unless they pay 4 money. Ooh, that would be miserable. It is a code gate, though. We're going to encounter that ice. We are going to take that 1 tag.
Which, with my ID, lets me gain 2 credits.
Indeedy. Economy control is very important in this game. Cool. We are going to go and break a subroutine. Abilities, money. Oh, is it telling me...
Oh. So the problem you're facing right now is that Funhouse is a 4th strength piece of ice, and your code gate...
it's not strong enough.
Yep, your decoder unfortunately only has a strength of 3.
I see.
And unfortunately, unlike a traditional breaker, there are no ways to pump up Chameleon using its own abilities. So
This is
you're a bit
true.
stuck accepting my subroutine.
I see. I probably shouldn't have taken that 1 tag then. I should have just ended the run. I'm a fool. That's fine, though.
All right. In that case, I'll just fire off the subroutine
Yep,
then.
let the unbroken row subroutines fire. And I have to give the runner 1 tag unless they pay 4. I will just take that additional tag. Continue to move.
Yep.
I will breach that server. What is it? It is Drago Ivanov, who is awful. This is one of the really powerful cards that needs to go away. It is what is used for fast advancement, so I will absolutely pay 1 credit to go and throw that card into the archives. And I will end my turn with 2 tags, which is bad, but I do return the chameleon back to my hand.
Indeed you do. Now, obviously, my whole strategy here is to try to get as many tags on you as possible for various shenanigans. The most important of which right now is to make sure you don't have professional contacts. I'm sorry, that's going away.
You have spends a click and spends 2 money to trash. Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing that you could do with tags. That's fun. I forgot about that ability.
Oh, yeah. It's the main purpose of tags. By default, I can trash resources as long as you are tagged.
Right.
Everything else requires cards.
Okay.
Speaking of cards, I'm now going to draw. And I'll install this. And end my turn.
All right. I start my turn, and now I have to go and think about what I'll be doing with my action economy. It's 2 money to remove 1 tag. Can I afford to sensibly do that? Now that is actually super important that you can break resources with tags. Okay, right. We are going to gain a credit. So I have 4 credits. I will remove 2 tags, and I have 1 click left, to which I will gain a credit, and then my turn.
Sensible. At the end of my turn, I'm going to use my card. Resing spend dock to get 2 cards. And now I start a turn.
The new era of Jackson Howard. I miss Jackson Howard.
Indeed. Jackson Howard's a lot more powerful than this card, but you know, it's not too bad.
It's also the thematics of that card and the artwork. A lot of things kind of went into at the time that I was playing Netrunner. I was working a job where I was teaching kids programming skills. So via toys and similar. So like Jackson Howard was genuinely the same job as me for a while, and that delighted me a lot.
All right, and to continue on, my next click will be to install a new remote and another remote.
Going
and
wide.
last action will be to gain.
I'll start my turn. Let's see here. I will. I will gain a credit. I will install Cyber Trooper Talent. It gives me +1 link whenever I install a non-AI icebreaker. That icebreaker gains 2 strength for the remainder of the run, solving the problem of Chameleon being underpowered. We are going to gain a credit. And then, let's go face check something, shall we? Let's go make a run on server 3.
Absolutely.
What's behind door number 3?
It's a snare.
Oh. Oh, so it...
I hope you like surprises.
Access snare. Reading the card out aloud. While the runner is accessing this card, they must reveal it. When the runner accesses this card from anywhere except the archives, you may pay full money. If you do, give the runner 1 tag and do 3 net damage. Net damage is essentially removing cards from my hand. If I ever go to 0 cards and take damage, I immediately die and the game is over. That trashed important cards from my hand. Sucks.
As it should.
As a result, I can still pay trash that for 0 money. Go away. I end my turn with 1 tag that I cannot remove, and I end my turn.
Indeed. Welcome to Netrunner.
Make bad moves, get punished, fall behind.
Now, unfortunately, I'm a little low resources myself, but I also do not want you to have the Cyber Trooper, as that makes your icebreakers a little too good. And my remaining clicks will be spent on gaining cash.
Okay. I'll start the turn, and we'll draw a card. And we'll draw a card. And then I will gain 2 money. That's fun. I don't have any resources for you to remove.
Yeah. An empty board is in fact less of a risk for you. However, I do have something that can allow me to take advantage of those tags.
Yes. You play Predicted Planogram. Resolve one of the following if the runner is tagged. You may resolve both instead. Gain 3 money and draw 3 cards.
Indeed.
Use it to do both. Oh, your hand is stacked.
Indeed. Almost a little too stacked, actually. Let me go ahead and... Let's see. Thus far, I don't think DZMZ Optimizer is too scary for me yet, although I should keep an eye out for it later on when you get more cards. For now, I'm going to trash the Ice Protecting Server 1.
Don't need it anymore.
Yep. In order to install a replacement.
Okay.
And then I shall install an additional thing. Yeah. Replacing the spin dot.
Oh, okay.
And that will end my turn, forcing me to discard. All right,
trashing it rather than using its second ability. Interesting. Let's see. Let's spend 1 click removing a tag for 2 money. Then I am going to gain a credit. I'm going to then, I think... Ooh... Oh, I see. I wonder how that works. Maybe that works the way that that's supposed to. No idea. We will install a Paul's Cafe. And with my last click, draw a card. End turn.
Sounds awesome. All right, starting turn. Ooh, excellent. I will use my hedge
fund
boost to my econ.
Oh,
And then I will advance the ice and server 1 twice. Oh, not the ice, the card and server 1.
That might be an agenda. It might be a card that damages me as a result of me face checking it. We'll see. I start my turn. I will draw a card. I'm going to spend a click to install Parisha. It gives me 2 recurring credits. So at the beginning of every turn, it refills to 2, and I can spend those hosted credits to pay the trash cost of assets. I'm going to draw. And I'm going to... Let's make a run on archives. What's in there?
Sounds good. You get access to archives and not much else.
We don't get anything especially fun, but we can look to see what's in there.
Yep, and also there's just scouts out information about what I'm willing to discard, what's in my deck, what you don't need to worry about anymore.
I thought you decided to throw away that retribution was interesting. Okay. Cool. I end my turn.
All right. Starting turn, draw my card, and I will advance the object in server 1 3 times.
Oh. And score it for it's Bologna.
Yep.
Yeah. Bologna is also one of the very, very good agendas. if you're running the Yellow Corporation NBN, if you're not running 3 of this card, you are a fool. I would have to pay additional money to be able to steal it, which, considering I am currently broke, would have been impossible to do anyway. And
just
when you
as planned.
And when you score it, you gain 5 money, so your economy is still very good.
Yep, and I have discarded 1 card to keep my hand at full, and it's now your turn.
Okay. We are. I'm going to draw a card. Oh man. All right. We're going to gain 2 credits. And what do I want to do with my last action? We're going to install a boomerang. Boomerang
Good
says,
choice.
oh, I get to select a target first. When I install this hardware, choose an installed piece of ice. Use this hardware only during encounters with that ice. Ice are these barriers preventing me from getting into Lushen servers. I can trash Boomerang to break up to 2 ice subroutines. If the run ends and it was successful, I can shuffle a copy of Boomerang from my discard pile back into my deck. We are going to attach it to your hand.
Ooh, good choice.
And I'm going to end my turn.
All right. Let's see. 6 cards in hand. I will install something into server 1 again. Advance a 1. And then install ice over server 1.
For each additional piece of ice that you put blocking the server, you have to pay 1 credit more. So the first piece of ice is free, then the next one's 1, then 2, then 3, and so on.
Yep. So if you plan to just build a huge fortress over a single server, I have bad news for you. That's very expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
And then you still have to pay to flip the ice face up as well. So you have to have monstrous econ to be able to do stuff like that. Which, well, you know.
Yeah, there are definitely decks that can pull that off easily.
There are definitely decks that can pull that off. I'm going to draw a card. Oh, thank God. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this to check that this works the way intended. And it might not. So I might just screw myself, we'll see. I'm going to spend a click on Paul's Cafe to host 1 program or a piece of hardware on my grip. So I'm going to select my chameleon.
Oh, good choice.
Now, yeah. Thinking about my turn econ and things like that. Okay. And my second to last click, I'm going to do a run on HQ, your hand.
Sounds good.
Will you res that ice?
I will not. You may continue.
Okay. We're going to breach that server, and I access a random card in your hand, and I see this card. I guess you know what card I access, huh?
Indeed.
Yeah, we access.
Also says so on the game log.
Sure. We access Retribution. No action. I can't trash that. And I have 1 click left, which I will use to gain some money. I end my turn.
All right. Starting turn. So the most devastating thing I can do to you right now is to tag you.
You can. Because I did a successful run, so you have a card that can tag me as a punishment for doing the thing.
Correct. Public trail is coming out, and you either pay 8 or take 1 tag, and you cannot pay 8.
So I have to take a tag.
And that lets me gain 2, making sure I only paid 2 total for that card. Which gives me plenty of money left to trash Polly's Cafe.
And
Indeed.
I don't get to in response pay the 1 to keep the chameleon around. I see. Okay.
Oh, actually, I think you do. Yeah, let me. Yeah, that's unfair to me. I should undo that click and let you have a chance to pay that window. But forcing you to pay is also completely fine.
How do we wind back a turn?
That way.
Okay, there we go.
/ undo click. Let me see. Same action again.
And then I can install hosted card.
Yep.
I'll make it a code gate. Sure.
Yep. And then trashing resource. Yep. And then for my very last click, I will gain credit.
Okay. I'll start my turn. Being tagged is currently very dangerous. My score area. Don't worry, Netscape. I haven't scored anything. But good to know for when we do the second match, or if I actually score anything. I am not winning. I am actually in a very, very dire position. Let's see. Kind of have to go make the run, huh? But I have no money, so that's going to be a problem in doing so. We will have to... Hello? Getting credit, please.
Oh, the server's probably lagging a little bit. Unfortunately, Gentech is also community run and can be community operated, so it's not always at the best state.
Yeah, oh man. I'm in a pretty dire strait. I'm so far behind at this point, I don't know if I'm actually in a position to catch back up again, unless I get some very lucky draws, and I have not been getting very lucky draws. What do I want to do here? I mean, I guess... Because I don't want to waste the fact that I played my chameleon, but also if I don't remove that tag, it's going to make my life very upsetting.
Yep.
We're going to gain 1 credit and then remove the tag, and I'll end my turn.
Sounds good. Let me see my best option here. I think my best option here is actually just to gain credits 3 times.
Yes, the Lushen is currently playing NBN Tag Me.
Yep.
With the identity of their corporation says the first time each turn the runner takes a tag, they gain 2 credits or draw 2 cards. I guess I start my turn. I'll draw a card and pray. You know what? Yeah. Play Diesel to draw 3 cards.
It's probably arguably one of the best cards in that faction, just because more options is always good.
More options is always good, but if you have
And more
poor
options for
econ,
free
it
is
can be
even
a
better.
bad time.
Yep.
Jesus. 2 clicks left. I play another Diesel. I gain a credit. And then my turn. I discard down to 5, which would be, I think, you. I have to get rid of 1 more, I think. Ooh. You. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to get rid of 1 more. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to cast that this game. Get rid of that.
All right. Start my turn. I shall put down ice on server 2. And replace the card in with another card. And I shall advance this.
All right.
Ending my.
I start my turn. Man, what turn are we on? Turn 12. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna gain a credit. And then I'm going to go and I mean, it's probably for the best. We're gonna go play a daily costs.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's way too. It's a very, very late game though. I would have loved that at any point before turn 12, right? But you know, it is what it is. Shit. What do I want to do? I have 2 econ left. We are going to gain 2 credits and end my turn.
All right. Starting turn, draw my card. I will advance the second server asset. Res it.
Steal it. Oh, no. It's,
Nope.
Yep,
he's back. And I'll use the ability to give you a tag.
Okay. You gain
It
2
gains me
money.
2 credits. And unfortunately, bye-bye data casts. And let me see. I still have 1 credit left after all that. I'll use it to kill the boomerang. And that ends my
Okay.
turn.
Oh, using retribution to do that. Sure, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. All right, where does this leave us now? We're not in a good place. Let's see. Do I have resources? I don't, so I don't have to worry about you trashing anything. Remove the tag. Oh. Gain 2 credits. I'll gain 3 credits. And then my turn.
All right, starting turn. And I shall advance the artificial crypto crash.
Scoring for another 2 points, and I lose all of my money.
However, I'm also just down to 1 credit, which I was trying to avoid.
All right. I will start my turn. And now if you score, you're at 5. And I don't think you run any 1-point agendas. So the next thing you score will probably close the game out. Let's see here. I have no money. But you also can't really res anything right now. I'm going to run on your R&D.
Sounds good. Continue.
All right. You're not resin. Let's go see what your top card is. I see. I will do that. I will spend the 2 credits from Prisha to trash that card. Jackson 2.0. Not as pretty as the original Jackson, but it will do. It will do. I wish I liked the new card art more, but it's nowhere near as
it doesn't have as much
inspiring. Really, it doesn't have that energy that the original
that
cards
really
did.
Nervous grin. Yeah.
Just in general with Nisei, unfortunately, there was because for me, when it comes to kind of card games, it's like a card game. If it captures my imagination, is usually what gets me in. There are some very good card games that I've not really given much time to, just because the card art or the flavoring is really boring. The Final Fantasy card game, very, very good mechanically. Most boring cards I've ever seen.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's just, it needs to engage on multiple levels.
We're going to run on R&D again, because I get to see what your next top card is.
And I will let you do so.
Let's see what it is. Okay. Fair enough. And then I have 2 clicks left. I'm just gonna gain 2 credits and then my turn.
All right. Start my turn. Oh, fun times. Yeah, that goes into server. And then I'll just gain 2 credits.
Well, at least I know what it is. I'm gonna start my turn. I am going to gain a credit and store daily costs. You have some cash now, but we'll fucking see,
yes,
I guess. You know, I initially started playing this game playing Anarch, so I'm not scared to face check shit. Let's go run R&D again.
All right. You may do so.
And what prize have we won? I score I finally steal something, thank God.
Oh, awesome.
We're no longer 0 to 5. And now I have to go and make you a little bit smaller. And then move this to the side a little bit. What? Oh, what did I just move? What did I just move? That's not what I need to move. Move this, please. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Excellent. All right. I stole an NFT. Yay. I have 1 click left. That's fun. I'm going to gain a credit and then my turn.
Perfect. Before the end of turn, I'll be using Spin Doctor. And then I think I'll actually remove him from game.
Oh, there's something you wanted to cycle. Well, I guess your operations are worth using again, considering.
If it only let me click on the remove from game option on the server. There we go. All right.
Oh, it tells
now
me.
Properly starting turn. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's because there's 2 of the face-up cards. Let me see. Best option here.
Did you see the world's promo for blockchain? It was a joke anti-NFT promo with the flavor text was right-click save as. Yeah.
Oh, I have not, but that's hilarious.
Solid current era joke for sure.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I will go ahead and install over archive. And spend 2 clicks on credit.
Okay. My turn begins And I actually gained some economy off daily cost. Bless the Lord. Right. We're going to gain a credit. Sure, why not? We're going to install Cyber Trooper Tullet. We're going to install a chameleon, calling CodeGate. And let's, just because I'm interested, make a run on archives.
Perfect. Resin ping.
What does that do? Run against the server.
Take a tag.
Oh, right, I see. Cool. We continue to encounter the ice. I will break the subroutine on it, so the run doesn't end at the very least.
Yes.
And then I can say done, I think. Yeah.
For some reason, it's not showing on my end that you've broken the subroutine.
Weird. Let me do that again. Oh, do I have to specifically state? Well, that's strange, because I'm clicking on break one subroutine because I have the money to do so.
Yeah.
And it says break a subroutine. Cool, but where do I click to do that? Okay. Interesting. You need to click end the run. Oh, right, that's the name of the subroutine. I was looking at that like, oh, if I push that, that's going to end the run for me. I'm smart. There we go. Right, there we go. We've done that. And then we can hit done. And then I can continue to movement. Do we find anything? No.
You find nothing.
Cool. That was a bad move, because now you can break all my stuff. Oh my god. Oh my god. I really... Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. This is a very, very bad position.
Yeah, I think the safest thing for me to do right now is definitely to get rid of the Cyber Trooper. Actually, no. Actually, don't care about that as long as you are broke. So Data Cast goes away again.
Okay.
And my remaining 2 clicks will be on creds again.
All right. I will start my turn. I will gain 2 credits, remove my tag, and gain another credit. Then my turn.
Okay, starting turn, installing into server 1, and advancing twice.
Okay.
And turn.
Right, okay. We kind of have to do this, though. I gain 2 credits. Okay. We're going to go install Chameleon, calling CodeGate. We're going to go make a run on server 1.
Sounds good. I'll allow you to pass the first chunk of ice.
Sure.
Continue to approach.
Oh, you're not resing the second either?
No, you have to approach the second one before I can do anything.
Oh, okay.
Before I can res it.
I approach it.
All right, resing ping.
For the additional tag.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, this is one of those things where it's like, hey, I don't have too much choice here. We are going to continue to go encounter that ice. I'm going to fully break ping. Cool.
That'll be fine. No
you already
further
moved
actions.
forward. I'm going to breach the server. Is it a snare? I don't have the
No.
money to steal it.
Indeed
So I
not.
just lose. I just lose. Cool.
Yes. As
Cool.
with capitalism, corporations don't always get richer, but the poor definitely stay poor.
Okay, I end my turn and you close up the match. GG.
Indeed, I do.
All right.
GG. Game 1 goes to me.
Yeah, very, very handily. I played terribly on that. I also pulled none of my economy until so late in the game where it didn't matter. Oh dear.
Let's just say you played terribly, but this might actually be a pretty poor matchup for Kid in general, especially this type of deck. Like, you have a lot of cards that are really resource efficient. You have ways to reduce the cost of anything you put out. But also, the moment you get tagged, none of that matters, because then you can spend cold hard cash to get rid of the tags, and also cold hard cash to get through some ice.
All right, I guess on to game 2. Let me go and do a thing very briefly. I need to go and hide. It is this one, right? Go away. Okay. Right, we leave this game. And then we go and make a new one, right?
Yep, I shall do so.
Sure. And let me go change up the music for the second one. What's a good corp? Me playing the corp theme music that I can run with. We're gonna go with... Let's go with this. Okay. There we go. Gonna go and select my deck. And I'm ready to go.
All right, fire now.
All right, and I'm gonna go reveal the game screen again. There we go. Let's go hide this one so you can actually see. I get to see what my opening hand is. You're playing Lat. When your turn,
freelancer.
I'm not familiar with this card actually. When your turn ends, if you have the same number of cards in your grip as the corp has in your HQ, you may draw 1 card. Okay. Yeah. Way to manage free card draw. Okay. Mulligan.
I'll keep.
All right. We will start the game. I'll start my turn and then get a card. Let's see. We are going to install a piece of ice on HQ, protecting my hand. We're going to draw a card. And then we're going to go install a piece of ice on R&D. And I am my turn.
All right, starting my turn. Dropping a daily cast.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you get to have your economy in your opening hand.
Oh, it's worse than that. Dropping another daily cast. Pulling double duty. All right, and then I will draw a card.
Love that for you. All right. It's not my turn. Draw a card for free. Oh, I am absolutely salty about how bad my draws were last game.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get. When I was playing, I used to play a government takeover in the Wayland deck. So you can imagine the number of times where the opponent would just like check my deck once and grab 6 points off the top. That was a little frustrating. Netrunner is a game of highs and lows.
What do I want to do here? thinking really hard. We're gonna gain a credit. We're going to install in a new remote and put a piece of ice protecting it. And turn.
Sounds good. All right, starting turn. I'll plop down a self-modifying code. I'll also run a pinhole threading through archive.
So for self-modifying code, you can pay 2 money and trash it to search for a program. This is really popular in Shaper. It doesn't work in the Chameleon deck that I was building, but it's often a must include. Pinhole threading. Run any server if successful. Instead of breaching the attack server, access one card in the root of a different server. If that card is an agenda, you cannot steal or trash it during this access. And because I have no things blocking my archives, I have no further actions.
Breaching server and checking that card. Oh yeah, that's going away. No way.
You get rid of Drago Ivanov.
Yep. And last 2 clicks will be to draw cards up to 4. Ending my turn.
Okay.
And gain an extra card because of my card ability.
Because it matches the number. Yep. We're going to start turn and draw a card. Let's see here. Just gain 3 money. Sure. Yours.
Yep. Starting turn now. Considering my options. Okay, I'm going to gain 2 credits. I'm going to run Into the Depths onto R&D.
Okay. Into the Depths. Run any server if successful. For each time you've passed ISIS run, resolve one of the following that you have not yet resolved. Gain 4 money, search your deck for a program and install it. I assume you pay for the install. It should probably say.
Yes,
And charge one of your installed cards. Charging is an interesting mechanic that is kind of only used for 1 card. But hey ho, here we go. Cool. I'm going to, if it doesn't say you don't pay, you do, sure. We're going to res the card. You run into Bron 1.0.
Oh, fascinating. Let me see. It's a barrier card, so I'm going to go ahead and change the self-modifying code into a breaker.
The Corroder.
Although, frankly,
one of the cheapest barrier breakers.
Yes.
Oh, that different card art. Wow.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I'm going to use your card ability to break one of the subroutines, but let the others fire.
Okay. What one are you breaking?
You're not getting free ice.
Fair enough.
And let them fire off.
Fire and broken subroutines. Run ends.
And that ends my turn.
All right. I will start a turn and draw a card. We're going to install into my empty server and gain 2 credits and turn.
Sounds good. Starting turn. I'm going to install Hyperbaric. I'm going to run another pinhole threading through archive.
Let's see. We're going to do this now. We're going to res spin Doctor for free and draw 2 cards.
Sounds like a plan.
No further actions. You finish your access.
And I'll leave it alone.
All right.
I'll instead spend the remaining clicks on card. Ending.
What do we have in there? Okay. We're going to start a turn and draw a card. We are going to install that in a new remote. And we're gonna gain 2 credits. I'm gonna end my turn and discard down to 5. Cool.
All right, starting turn. Tossing out a pure gamble.
Get that money.
Yep. And go to check server 2.
Sure. What do I do? No further actions.
Ooh, pad campaign. I'll leave that alone. No action. I'm going to install the endurance.
Yep. One of the best cards in the game right now.
It's honestly a little too powerful.
Yeah.
I kind of feel it's a little too powerful.
Yeah, but super is. I adjusted my deck just so I could go put an endurance in there because it would be foolish of me not to.
It honestly is. I'm hoping they nerf this somehow in the next release or somehow, but right now it's just a little too much. But while it's in the game, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
And I might as well use it in conjunction with Jailbreak.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Run HQ and R&D. If successful, draw one card. And when you breach the attack server, okay, cool. Oh man. See, like, continue to movement.
Sounds good to me.
No further actions.
All right. Let me see. I'll get rid of the daily quest.
Okay.
Not enough cash. Damn.
Nope. Thank God. Thank God
So
that
that's how it feels.
Thank God that endurance is expensive.
Yep.
At the end of your turn, I'm going to res pad campaign and gain 1 money and 1 card. Cool. This is my new favorite thing. Netrunner DB has a ruling for this card explaining how large it is compared to the ships on OB Super Heavy Logistics. I do not know what that is, but I'm glad you were entertained. Power counters are really interesting thing because unlike virus counters, you can't purge them, can you?
Nope. They persist. Pretty much the only way to get rid of them is for me to use them.
That's really good.
Yep.
Really good. Okay.
Obviously, the intention for power counters is that they become really strong late game, right? Like Hyperbaric, for example, cracks any piece of code gate ice for cheap once you get them to a certain point. But supposedly it's supposed to cost 2 credits per power counter on that thing, which seems like it would be a problem, but this is Netrunner we're talking about. There's a whole bunch of ways to cheat that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going to gain 3 credits and then my turn. Why am I on the back foot? This is awful.
It really feels that way right now, but honestly, neither of us have agendas. You have one of the thickest pieces of ice you can possibly slap onto your R&D, so I'm not getting past that anytime soon. Don't feel too bad because you have a lot more credits than I do, and corporations should be thinking about the long term anyhow.
We are preparing for the long game, but it is very like, oh my God, why?
Yep. In the meantime, I'm going to draw some more, and gain 2 credits.
Okay.
Probably should have drawn a 5th card actually, but I'll make you with this.
It is what it is. We gain 1 credit from pad campaign. We are going to play government subsidy in game 15.
Yeah, plenty of money now. That's the most important thing.
And now we get to think about what the heck we do. We are going to make a new remote. I don't like going wide, but you know, it is what it is. We are going to install a card in that new room. Oh God, no, that's not it.
Oh yeah.
How do I wind that back?
I'll type it out in Discord.
Sure. That was a misplay.
Yeah,
okay.
No worries. That's very obviously so. And obviously, if this was a real life game, you wouldn't have been able to make that kind of mistake, so.
No, my hand is just immediately unable to pick up the card I just played. It would be very funny. We're going to do that. There we go. Much better. And in fact, yeah, that's my turn. Cool.
All right. Starting turn. I'm going to gain crit. Slap down another day cast.
All right.
And I'm going to run on your archive.
Because that successful run gives you additional power counter. Boo! Yep. I would ice my archives even if there's nothing in there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And let's see, I still have one click. I will gain credit. And enter.
Gucci. And we'll start the turn. I will ice up server 3. I will advance this twice. And my turn.
All right. Starting turn. I'll choose to use jailbreak.
Okay.
On your R&D.
Okay, we continue to encounter ice.
Yep. I'm going to use your card ability to break one subroutine. And then the bolt for the remainder.
Other two off endurance, sure. Fantastic. We continue to movement. I have no further actions. You access.
All right. Got the information I wanted. I will gain credit.
Glad you get to know the next 2 turns before I do.
That's always useful information. And of course, final click, I'll gain a lot of credit.
I wonder. Yeah, I can do this now, apparently. I'm going to go and remove Spin Doctor from the game to cycle. Two cards back to my deck, and it then shuffles the deck as well. So it doesn't matter what those things you looked at were. We're going to advance this 3 times and score it.
Yep.
And then I end my turn.
All right, starting turn. I'm going to, let's see, install a Rizeki.
Ooh, what's this card? Oh, sure. When your turn begins, gain 1 money.
Yep, just cheap econ.
Love a trip economy. Yeah.
Yep. Run your HQ.
Okay. Let's see. How many do you get upon? Right, okay. You know what? Sure. I res free to play.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, let me see. Sentry, 2 crits to break one subroutine. Otherwise, it's a bunch of stuff I don't want to deal with. Rather than dealing with any of that, I'm going to use the boat.
Yep. Boat good.
Those two good.
We continue to movement.
Indeed.
No further actions.
Yep.
What do you access?
The daily quest. I'm going to pay 3 to trash that.
Okay. Womp womp.
Yep. And then I'm going to gain 2 crits. Ending turn.
Gaining an additional card because our hand size matches. Start turn. I am going to install into server 3. And advance it twice. And turn.
All right, starting turn. I'm going to pitch a dirty laundry at that pad campaign.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good art. Yeah, no further actions. You remove it.
Crashing that. Oh, let me see. My next step will be... Sure. Let's make it around server 3.
Okay. I am going to res that card. It is a rhyme. During runs on this server, you can res ice anytime you could res non-ice cards. Each piece of ice protecting this server has +1 strength.
Oh. I haven't seen... Oh, yeah. I remember this. Yeah, sure thing.
Continue to encounter?
Yep.
We are encountering.
Let that fire.
Let that fire. Fire unbroken subroutines. This matters surprisingly little considering boat, but hey.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's still... Like, if I were to use boat, I would be losing 2 power counters, which is a little steep for only losing 1 credit, right? So on the whole, it's a good way to make sure I lose some of my econ.
We continue to movement, I think. Hello?
Yes.
No, okay, there we go.
There we go.
We are going to res pop-up window.
Oh, perfect. And the run, unless the runner pays 1. I wonder what's my most efficient option here.
I mean,
Probably
you know.
tomato 1.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess we continue to encounter ice. There you go. Fire and broken also. Oh, yeah, just gonna pay the 1. Yep, yeah, that's right. Fire all broken subroutines. We continue to movement. No further actions.
Now it's breaching the server. And now I actually have the money for this. Thank goodness.
Very close to you being slightly too poor to steal it. I was hoping. That daily costs did the additional work to kind of get you there. Very lucky.
Yep. Very much so. Although I was making sure that I was staying above 5 specifically because I knew you had Bellona in your deck. So yeah, it's just a matter of running the math.
Again, if you're running NBN, you know, not running Bellona, what's going on?
Yeah, it's a little too powerful. Like I just lost 5 crits getting that Bellona. That sets me back substantially if I was trying to install anything else. And instead, like it forces me basically to spend the next 2 clicks getting crit.
Okay.
And there we go.
We're gonna start turn. Now, this is a mechanic that existed in the previous games, but I never really did very much. So we're going to go slowly through the process to make sure that we do it right in Jinteki, because it's probably going to operate raid. We're going to play Punitive Counter-Strike. It says it starts at 5, so you'd already have to pay 5 to be able to contest it, right? And you're at 4, so you're not in a position to do anything about it.
However, don't forget I do have 1 link on LAT, so...
so that does push that to 5. Right, okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to pay 2 credits just to make sure you can't.
Yep, that puts you over and makes it so that it's not worth it my time to boost the link. Yep.
Then, unfortunately,
Oh no.
I'm going to do it again.
Well done. Well done. That's a good trap. Ah.
Oh, that worked. Shit.
That works. I didn't have the bullets. You're killed.
I'm not entirely, you know, I can play a card game. I know a strategy sometimes.
Just expected that.
I know a strategy sometimes. Yeah, no.
About people just while playing.
The funny thing is, one of the things I was very terrified about, and I'll talk about this now that the match is over, when I was building the deck and everything and kind of doing a degree of net decking, because it's like, I don't know any of the new cards, I'm going to need to have somebody guide my hand in terms of what cards are good, and then the internet said, get the boat. I was like, okay. But one of them was an ice called Gold Farmer. When I was building my deck in Netrunner DB, and I put in Gold Farmer, and Netrunner DB said, whoa, slow down there, champ. That card's super spicy. You can't use that. And it didn't really specify what format I couldn't use it in. And only after did I lock in my deck list that card is banned in Standard, not Startup. So when I looked at everybody else's deck list and they were just running through it, I was like, oh, piss. I'm already running behind, and I've not actually played any matches with anybody yet. Oh, no. So I'm glad that this deck still operates, even if one of the best efficient ways of, like, econ drain for NBN is unavailable to me. But hey, we move.
Yeah. The thing about Startup, I especially feel, is that it's a bit of an unbalanced format, specifically because it doesn't have a serious attempt at defining the ban list for anything, right? Ideologically, they don't want to run a ban list, but the fact is,
it would be admitting a very strange thing to say all of our new cards are imbalanced.
Yeah, as much as I respect Nisei and their design team, or I forgot what their new name is going around with. I'll have to look that up later. But as much as I respect the design team, no design team is so good, especially not a community volunteer-run design team, that they can prevent degenerate effects or degenerate emerging effects from showing up in a game as complicated as this, as integrated as this. Because sure, something like both costing 8 in a traditional format from prior years might have been too much to consider, right? Even with costing, especially with costing 2 whole power counters to break 2 subroutines. That sounds like it might have been too much.
But now it's like, well, you know, it is what it is. We can afford that. We find ways to make that work.
Yeah, it's just fundamentally too powerful.
I'm gonna whip back to the little sofa screen since we're in post-moment chat. But yeah, could it finish your thought?
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, with Gold Farmer especially, right? Gold Farmer itself, they knew for a fact that it was going to be too powerful in Standard when there are, like, it's not going to be the only taxing effect in the game. It's going to be backed up with cards that trigger off of taxes. And we both ran NBN specifically because we knew that that was the best way to handle something like Boat, to make it so that even that it'll be inherently costly to run the server, it had Gold Farmer in, right?
Making it too expensive to Boat. Indeed. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be real, I picked NBN and Shaper because they were my 2 favorite identities before, and I would have done that even if Shaper was bad, because I think one of the things that was happening a lot in old Netrunner is that comparatively Shaper was not as powerful. I think there was a period of time where Shaper was not the most powerful identity of the 3. But I'm kind of like, nah, man, I've got to run. I used to run Smoke, Cloak and Dagger stealth counter stuff, and it was delightful.
Smoke was a lot of fun.
It was a fun deck to play. It was really solid on econ, but it didn't feel like it ran too far ahead or too far behind, and you needed to be clever with how you spent your money to kind of push, so it kind of felt like it was a fun thing to play even though it wasn't powerful. And there's actually a bunch of really interesting new stealth cards in the new set, but Smoke isn't legal in Startup, so I was like, okay, what Shaper identity is available in Startup? And I was like, oh, I can run Chameleon Kit. That's super underpowered, but it's such a delightful, like, idea. So for those who are not familiar with Shaper as an identity, Shaper runners are specifically, they hack because they see the art and beauty in it. They try and do risky things just to kind of see what will happen, and that reflects itself in being very combo deck, or like having an answer for any problem kind of thing. And Endurance is very much an example of having an answer for any problem, although it does that in a single card, whereas previously it was going wide and building a really large suite of breakers to be able to have an answer for any problem.
Endurance is not an answer. Endurance is the answer.
Shaper lost a lot when Kate rotated, and then again when Haley rotated. Yeah, Haley Kaplan was also a really, really fun card. But yeah, I think this is a good opportunity. I think if this was a circumstance where I was able to use old school cards, I would probably build a deck that I know and then have to sprinkle in the new cards when mandatorily some of the stuff that I wasn't able to use rotated out, and then I would be forced to use a new card and would do that. So this is a good way of getting me to experience what those new cards are, and some of them are really interesting. So I look forward to kind of seeing what some of the other decks that people ran. But yeah. No, I'm definitely, Smoke and NBN as broadcasting companies and individual streamers somehow speaks to myself as an online entertainer who works for a broadcasting company. Yes. What IDs did you like before Nisei?
So unfortunately, I was a really damn dirty Jinteki player back in the original formats. Running cards that would just tax you painfully for interacting with them. Omokata Protocol, for instance, was a 3-point agenda that would deal you, I believe, 2 or 3 damage as a cost for trying to steal it. So I put that down. I put Kugo in front of it, which is a barrier with only 1 toughness, but to break it out all, you would take another point of damage. And that put any sort of asset behind, any sort of defensive upgrades behind it that also deal damage for interacting with that server. It was just a massive pain. How many cards do you need to draw to actually touch it? All of your cards. Good luck.
Just roll deep and pray. Yeah. It was really interesting actually in terms of, because I'm now just waxing nostalgic about previous stuff. This gets to be in the recording, sure, why not? How like NBN Tag and Bag was so super popular. Because it was just, NBN is really good at tagging people, and then people played Boom and did a whole bunch of physical damage and just won matches that way. I feel a bit bad that that's technically how I won that match, because I refused to build NBN decks that way back in the day. I was like, nah, I refuse to be that person. I know this is going to lose me matches, but I have principles, damn it. And watch me online in front of everybody using damage strats instead. But the NBN deck I used to play was Harpsichord Studios, actually, was my favorite, which says that you can only steal 1 agenda per turn. And it was a whole bunch of like Too Good to Be Trues, which when you stole it gave me cash, or Quantum Predictive Protocol, which is when you stole it, if you tag, I get it instead. Silly things like that. So it's kind of forcing people to go run on agendas and be like, you can take it, it's an agenda, and then they don't get to actually score the big dangerous one. And then using, I think, Kitsune as a piece of ice to make people run on other servers instead. So making them run into the server that they didn't want to, and then being like, ooh hoo hoo, aren't I cheeky? Really funny. Really funny. I think it was used Mushin no Shin to do a whole bunch of silly stuff as well to fast advance things. It was an odd deck, but it played surprisingly well. But that is definitely a deck lost to time. I think most of the cards in it are either rotated out or super banned now, but it was fun while it lasted.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, old school Netrunner, how I put it, it very much felt like the core player was going to be the DM setting up like a maze of illusions.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was, I think that was one of the things that I really liked about Netrunner, and still like about Netrunner now, is that it was kind of like, do you like making problems or solving problems? And in other card games, that's kind of like going first in Magic, people kind of talk about like that. Is your deck good at making the problem, or is your deck really good at solving the problems that other people put down? And like learning that as an idea made me think about Magic differently. It's a basic concept when you're in, right? But at the time I was like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. I just went first because going first is good, right? And then it turns out, oh, there's some decks where going first isn't the thing that you want to do. And Netrunner kind of takes that to the super extreme, where you have to really think about, well, do you enjoy like solving puzzles? How do you like solving puzzles? Are you the kind of person that goes into an escape room and breaks the puzzles so you solve them? Don't go to escape rooms. That's a rude thing to do, but Anarch is here for you. Or I guess Criminal. Criminal is more in the realms of just like being like, nah, I refuse to do these puzzles. I'm just gonna skip them.
Yeah, Criminal has the cheat codes. Anarch is the one that comes in with a hammer and just like tears a hole through the wall.
God, Eater back in the day, Faust back in the day. Oof.
Oh, that was not a good time for Corpse. That was not a good time for them.
Anyway, I can't just go and list a bunch of card names that people who are watching this don't know. I'm gonna have to pass this on to somebody else. But before we go, is there anything you want to plug about you, the stuff that you have upcoming?
I don't have anything upcoming in the immediate future, but I do have a 2.0 model coming up eventually once my rigor is done and all the other stuff is done. Ooh. I'm really very looking forward to that because I have a whole skit plan for that. Not a skit really, but a whole presentation for that.
Yeah.
But that will be in the future.
VTubers love to do a debut for like the nth time.
I mean, strictly speaking, it's more like an additional costume that I will slap over for like specific kinds of content rather than a complete replacement.
No, I feel
really
you.
love my current model. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to have that either end of October or at least sometime before the end of 2022. Hopefully, this has like I've been waiting for this to finish up for at least 6 months now. But yeah. Otherwise, that's just gonna be a lot of strive in the future. And for the rest of October, I've been doing daily VTuber sketches as my Inktober replacement. So that's always fun.
Yeah, I've been doing little bits of like tabletop RPG portrait sketches, but I haven't posted them online. They're kind of just for me. In those things, it's like I know how to draw these, but it's been a while, so I'm going to use this as an opportunity to like resume the muscle memory and learn how to draw again. It's that kind of cozy experience. But thank you so much for the games. Sorry for belly aching in that first round. I'm kind of
no, I get it. I've had those games too.
I think I learned a lot.
Either way, we're more than happy to have
I have as well, honestly. And Netrunner is especially Netrunner has a tendency to have a lot of depth to it as well. That
so many new things to learn. So many things to learn. Thank you for the follow, Odd Twang. Good friend of mine, IRL, also a really big Netrunner fan. I bought like the legacy game that they had. What's it called? It's like in line of sight.
Oh,
Terminal Directive. Yeah. I have that box. I've had that box for years. And I've never had the chance to play it. No, and I specifically bought it being like, oh, I know that Odd Twang also has a copy that he hasn't played. Maybe one day we'll get to then play it twice and do the full storyline as the corp and the full storyline as the runner, because if you have two boxes, you can do it that way. Never manifested. We're both very lazy. But we can make it happen one day still. I'm putting this intent out into the world. Now I said it on the internet, it's on record, so it has to happen. Anyway, what do I have coming up? On Thursday, we'll be returning with more Mega Man Battle Network 3. We've heard that it's like only okay. I mean, that's fine. I think at this point, it's just to kind of get it off my bucket list to say, hey, we played the game, even if it's like mid. I don't care anymore. I just want to do it. Hell, we can even like use the new like Nisei cards for it, and maybe that will make it a more interesting experience with a different card pool. Who knows? Yeah, on Thursday we have more Mega Man Battle Network 3. We're basically at the end. We're endgame now, so it might be the very final time that we'll play that. And we still have our Rave.dj music jam stuff coming in. Have you heard of Rave.dj before?
No, I'll have to look that up.
It's really neat. It basically uses an AI to mash up two YouTube music videos together to make an entirely new music mashup. It's super addictive.
Oh wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So we have a little session at the end of those streams where we just listen to ones that we have made and the viewers have made. It's a fun time. And next week on the 22nd, Saturday 22nd, we will be doing a tabletop RPG stream of Wandering Spark, which is a tabletop RPG I designed to reflect the storytelling that happens in Shinichiro Watanabe animes. So like your Cowboy Bebops, your Samurai Champloo's. wandering vignettes with two fantastic players, Biggest Bees and Tyler A. Davis, both of whom have been part of the Campaign Skyjacks podcast. We tried to do the stream previously, but there was tech issues, but it's resolved. We're back in action. We're ready to go and tell this very, very cool, very specifically Black story for you for Black History Month in the UK. So I really look forward to sharing with that all. Please do tune in on the Saturday. Right. Time to do a raid and end the stream. Is there anybody you'd like me to pass on the raid to today, Lushen?
Let me see. I don't know who's online right now.
Yeah. Tell me who to go send the squad to.
Let me see. My friend Urihime is streaming some art and design right now. She does a lot of the graphic arts. If you've seen any of the Nichi Sanji logos, actually, I'm pretty sure she's on either all or most of their previous generation, quite a few others as well.
Marvelous. Big name. How do you give me the spelling of that name and we'll go send the party people over.
Sent it to you on Discord, and there you go.
Got it. Orihime. Fantastic. Please, everybody, give Orihime a warm welcome, scream, clap, and cheer, and give them your caster's best. I have been your androgynous AI game show host from the future caster. This has been the Neon Caster Twitch channel, and we will see you all next time. Farewell, everybody. Goodbye.